4chan. Oh, they're incels. All right, I'm gonna consider what just happened right now a total war zone. I'm gonna step back from all this BS. Continue the video on, but remember, I'm just a simple war photographer on the internet, just documenting as we go along.
And before we dive into anything, I think it is so imperative that we first identify who is doing this. And the people that are doing this are very bad people. They're homophobic, they're racist, they're blatantly anti-Semitic. They are the scum of the earth. Like, these aren't normal people. Let's first establish that. I don't want people to think that, you know, Linda from the grocery store is coming out to harm them or trying to bully them. No, these are very nasty, bad people. And so I think it's just important that we get that clear, that these aren't normal people. These are people who are on 4chan, which is, if you don't know, it's a very dark place of the internet. It's where...
Look, all right, I'm sick and tired of all these people trying to use this demonetization speak, okay? Dark place of the internet. How about we just say it like it is? It's the fucking hairy, disgusting asshole of the internet. That's where it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on 4chan for a fair... Ooh, there's a video called Pridefall Beware. All right, you know, we're gonna hold off on that, on these videos. You know, this is not the reaction time. This is a time to inform. Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'll just be real with you over here. 4chan is the asshole of the internet. You know, it's pretty much anarchy land. You know, it's the end of all time. It's the end location. It's kind of the place where you don't want to be, but in some weird morbid curiosity type of way, you almost want to be there. Now, I've been on 4chan for a fair bit, you know, specifically heavily between the years of 2010 2014, and 4chan has been a place where, in my personal experience, a lot of it is just people dicking around, and it is what it is. You know, I like to occasionally go on the boards here and there for sure, usually just to lurk, never really to post, and it is what it is. It's like one of the free bastions of the internet. But that being said, there are some pretty weird things that happen on 4chan. Now, this video is by Alphabet Mafia, who has about 4,000 subscribers, so, you know, go show some love. You know, this video did really well for him, and I do hope his channel goes by really well. He definitely does seem like a creator who's putting in some effort into his content. With all that said, though, all right, I think it's time to look at what Operation Pridefall is about. Now, Operation Pridefall is in the name, okay? If you don't know, this month is Pride Month, okay? So that means there's going to be a lot of parades, there's going to be a lot of showcase of the LGBTQ plus stuff throughout this month, okay? Whether you live in Canada, whether you live in the United States, or any country that has very positive LGBTQ plus laws, usually will have a very positive demonstration of the LGBTQ. Now, it's interesting enough that this was something that I was going to not cover for a couple days. I actually wasn't going to look into Operation Pridefall because I wanted to wait just a few days after, you know, June 1st had kicked off, just so we could sort of see the effects of what Operation Pridefall was doing. Now, here you can see that 8 hours ago, police warn of homophobic 4chan cyber attack on LGBT plus Pride Month celebrations, and this is from the United Kingdom. So you can see that now it's in the mainstream news, and this is precisely one of the things you don't want to happen when it comes to this stuff. All right, so in order to really get to the bottom of it, past all the news and everything, you have to actually go to the original post right here. Now, over here, this is an archive of the post. Now, this was actually posted on Politically Incorrect. If you don't know what Politically Incorrect is, it's one of the more, let me just say, if you get offended pretty easily, this might be a board you don't want to go on, okay? Now, here you can see, ooh, Moot, which was the admin of this site at one point, had wrote, oh, I'm sorry, my fellow Australians, goddamn. What is Operation Pridefall? It's quite simple. Every June, hundreds of massive corporations band together to smother social media with posts in favor of Pride Month, a code word for the degeneracy. Oof. Many of these accounts are rather small and get very little engagement, yet they continue to post without backlash. Beginning on June 1st, the goal of Op Pridefall is to get on Twitter, Instagram, and drop a shit ton of disturbing red pills on homosexuality on the comments of the lesser-known pages. The bigger pages are okay targets, but posts tend to get unnoticed in the sea of other comments. commenting on smaller pages, sub 100 likes or so, means anyone who views it will see the posts and companies will reconsider their posts afterwards. So their whole goal is to do like sort of a small scale attack to at least raise some, not outright hate, but enough to convince people on like the spectrum of do they support the LGBTQ or do they not, and sort of convince them to the dark side in their opinion, right? Now, how do I do this? Oh, all right. How do you do this? Get a phone number. There are a million apps that give out a phone number. Get an email. Sign up for Twitter. Post away. Already, this is actually a bad operation because if it's something that anybody knows about 4chan is when you try to turn 4chan as your fucking weapon, whoo! Nobody gonna accept that just fine, let me tell you. The last thing 4chan likes to be is organized. It's like telling a bunch of anarchists to actually form a fucking government. They'll be like, what? What? Okay. Have you ever done this? A trial run last summer was run with decent success, but we can do much better. Yeah, if it was really decent success, I think I might have actually heard about it, which I did not. Any specific guides? Keep it normie palatable / friendly, which means exactly. So nothing too intense. Her, you Reddit space Redditor. And here they use the okay. Now here they've got resources, which trust me, I've tried clicking on the Mediafire one, did not lead me to any resources. Let's see if the paste bin is still. Dude, Operation Pridefall has been Operation Strangled. What the fuck? Now, of course, it is where you get to a point where it says, this was based and all until you gave a description as autistic as that. And yes, I did actually control F the word autistic there, just because that is the first sort of sign where you have some discord in the ranks of all these individuals. Now, I'm going to tell you this much right now, okay? Raids, in my opinion, with 4chans always get announced, right? Like, there's always going to be people that want to do raids. The problem with raids is, again, nobody likes the organization on the platform either. I mean, it's kind of fucking stupid. And really, I would say 99% of most 4chan raids end up fucking failing. Now, I've been part of this platform and I've sort of like hovered around raids as they've started, just sort of seeing them, never participating, but just sort of witnessing the actual like lifespan of them. And yeah, they gained some traction initially, but in order to do a raid, people got to put in some work. And I mean, work involves not jacking off and not playing video games or doing anything else. And usually when you start taking that away from, you know, I would say the people who are called upon to do the raid, it tends to die pretty fucking quick. The only way a lot of these raids actually gain any traction is when you start feeding into the fear. Now, I'm one of those people where I think videos like this don't necessarily do any harm because attention is not all good attention. You know, when you start giving attention to a lot of these raids, it doesn't immediately spark them to success. It's only when you have people who tend to fear it and tell people to beware is when you get into the issue. Fear, in terms of these raids, when you have this giant cloud of it, is what causes more people to punch up into it, because then they feel that they can really hit someone on a very emotional, personal level. I mean, it's all fucking psychology, right? Like, I mean, fucking think about it. I've been on the internet long enough, dude, trust me. I know when this shit works and when it doesn't. Now, of course, when you just kind of laugh at it as something stupid, then everyone in the community here kind of laughs at it as it's fucking stupid. Trust me, we have better things to do. Now, there's also part 2 to the situation, right, where they said part 2 is archived, so I will explain further details about how we're going to communicate along with the instructions. Now, beginning on June 1st, the goal of Pridefall, again, same thing over here. They tell you, get a phone number, get an email, sign up to Twitter, avoid mass reports, and prevent looking like bots. Now, here they give some extra information, right? Like, in order to make your profile, go to a website that says thispersondoesnotexist.com. This is kind of cool. So, apparently, if you go to this website over here, they actually generate you new faces based on artificial intelligence. So if you just like F5, you'll actually generate new faces. These are people that apparently did not exist at one point, and they were generated entirely through artificial intelligence. I don't know if these are real faces or not. I'm just going to keep it blurred in this section, but it is generating fresh, brand new faces for me. I did see that one already. These ones do not exist, but this was apparently generated using complete artificial intelligence, which I definitely do believe. Dude, they actually have a GitHub so you can learn how to do it all for yourself. Like, generate hands, generate stuff. This is crazy. These cities do not exist. This rabbit hole goes too deep, and I don't want to just cover right into it, let me tell you. However, if you do have a GPU and CUDA installed, you can definitely install this Python script and call it a day. Now, this is a touchy video, okay? This is a touchy video because the actual concept of it is touchy. Now, I said earlier, I think the LGBTQ movement, it's fine. It's just people wanting to be themselves, and as long as someone's happy and they ain't hurting anybody, then guess what? Muda don't fucking care. And with 4chan in this case, being sort of the target, being sort of the people bringing this fear out amongst the LGBT community who are like, man, we better be watching out for Pridefall. The reality of it is these raids are only as strong as the actual power you give it. And the thing about 4chan and everything like that is these raids do tend to fail just because the actual people running the raids do get bored out of it real quick. 4chan moves at a very accelerated pace of time, okay? Meaning like 10 days in our world is like 10 years in 4chan time. People are always switching from a subject minute to minute to minute. And it's really when you get into like these communities that the moment you start giving into the fear, the fear of something bad happening from it, is the moment that all power is sort of handed over to them. And so that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you kind of just have to laugh at it, back away from it, and not give it the attention that it wants, okay? Because the moment you start feeding the attention into it, and again, you can laugh at it for sure, but the moment you start fearing from it, and the moment you start thinking, man, I'm fucked, then that's when you've really given it the power. Now, already, I haven't seen much rumbling about any of Operation Pridefall, and I think a lot of that has to do with the current climate of the world, and specifically the United States right now. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Pridefall, it looks like Operation already fucking burned out. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, take care, and like I said, please don't feed into the hate bullshit that comes out of this stuff. And for a lot of people who are looking at it and then want to poke the hornet's nest that is 4chan, you probably also shouldn't do that either. Just let it go, call it a day, and go do something else. Simple as that. Because the moment you start fucking off and living your life and having a good time is the moment you lead by example, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the people running the operation are going to fuck right off and live life on their own turn. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that was Operation Pridefall. Fucking one of the weak sauce raids that I've ever actually seen. With that said, though, ladies and gents, let's back out of here. This is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.